like it.
I love it, yeah.
Now when you go pre-owned, you can enjoy the same feeling you get with a new Toyota. Tested and backed by Toyota.
Upgrade your car, mate.
This? Yeah, no big deal.
Toyota certified. Pre-owned in a class of its own. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's going around the outside of both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson! Anderson's up to
Oh my God! Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's going to get rolled!
Second very close. These guys I want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go.
Oh no!
That's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God.
God, what?
Welcome to SimSpeed TV and the Oz Pro-Am Sim Series as we come to Suzuka Circuit for our GT3 Fixed tonight. First up, as always, Pass 2 before we then head in to the Pro-Am Sim Series. Suzuka, what an exciting circuit drenched in history. As much as it's known for its Grand Prix racing, it has for a long time been host to GT racing and GT endurance racing, so a perfect fit here for round 6 of this season, season 8 of the simrigs.com Oz Pro-Am Sim Series. Thanks for joining us on SimSpeed TV. David Haynes here with Nick Scrav and Jay Kennedy with lots of buttons to press. Nick, great circuit. Every corner's got a name to it, not just a number.
Yeah, absolutely, and every corner's almost got a different radius to it. It really is such a mixed bag here. Zooming in on our Google Maps there, you can see Suzuka bang in the middle there of Japan. I'm sure it'll be starting to get pretty cold there in the northern hemisphere, where it's warming up a little bit here at the moment, but we'll definitely see the action here tonight warming up for sure with our GT racing here. Just zooming in a little bit more. Even has a little miniature one next to that, but yeah, quite complex. I think about 18 corners or so. So a few of the circuits we've done earlier in this round has been a little bit more simpler, but they'll definitely have their work cut out this time.
You tickled my curiosity. I went and looked. It's currently 13 Celsius at Suzuka Circuit in Mie Prefecture, Japan. They're heading for a high of 21 on Friday. So actually, that's not bad at all. See how long that lasts for them. It's that first sector with the S's. They just keep going. It really challenges this kind of car. The fast, loaded corners, quick changes of direction, a little bit of off camber potentially, but it's called reverse bank corner apparently at turn 6 there. So yeah, maybe could be a little off camber. Maybe that's why it's called that. We've got lots of other challenges around as well, like the final chicane, like the Degner's spoon curve with a couple of apexes to hit.
Yeah. There we go, the big Suzuka eye there looking over. Big crowd, so we'll have to, I'm sure, once we get the information on how the temperature is out on sim.
Yeah, I reckon it's decent Ferris wheel weather still. So this is what's ahead of us for Pass 2. Just one race for this tier. It's going to be a fuel stop race. Get into the balance of performance in a little bit. This is their championship standings. Jake Jackson, the lead from Braden Sagasar. Aaron Oberstella led earlier in the championship. Now finds himself just a little over 150 points adrift in third. Troy Robertson, Ben Pollock, David Baz, Patrick Panton, Ian Jordan, Benjamin Johnson, and Thomas LePrake make up our top 10 for this group. This is that balance of performance for the 6 models of GT3. Audi R8 gets just a tiny bit back. BMW M4 trimmed. Ferrari 488 at full power. And the Porsche 911 GT3R still being kept in check with a pretty aggressive reduction to power.
Yeah, absolutely. I do believe we were just having a bit of a chat off mic a little bit earlier. Quite a lot of Mercedes AMGs out there as well. So see if these balance of powers are going to change it up a little bit. Seeing a few cars out on circuit here at the moment. As you can see, 8 kilometers are all really quite well spaced out. Not really needing too much to try and sit in that back section in between turn 15 and 16 all the way down to turn 18. That's what we see here. Really good part of the circuit.
The track is actually just about 100 meters shorter than Sebring International Raceway, and the lap times don't look that dissimilar. Pole currently sitting at a 158.6, but it is really busy. First, second, and third, with just hundredths of a second to separate them at the moment. Graham Fyland in the factory Audi livery there puts a time to the board that's good enough for 8th, and more lap times continue to come in from our field.
There we go, in Jordan there through the back section. Just trying to get a good lap in. So far 2 minute and 3, so seeing a lot of few outlaps and stuff. They come through this chicane, like we were saying before. Suzuka having such a different amount of combinations. So such a slow part of that circuit. A 159, so a little bit down the order there, around 6th position. So you can see just how tight that top 5 is at the moment.
Really densely packed in that group. Nick Bottrell currently sits with the pole position. He's behind Graham Fyland on track. Maybe a help or a hindrance. Find out. It depends how much Fyland is hustling at this minute. There's a second to separate their best laps so far. It was quite close behind at the moment. Fyland could be finding his rhythm, picking up his pace. Nick Bottrell setting a couple purple sectors here. So he's being quick to this point of the lap, hoping to complete cleanly. This 130R just about flat out in these kind of cars, but it's not for Nick Bottrell. He pushes out a little bit wide in the aero wash. He tags just a tiny bit of that AstroTurf. He finds that the Audi will rotate on its axis with its mid-engine a little too easily.
Yeah, you have to say there, Nick Bottrell absolutely kicking himself there. Was looking to strengthen his stranglehold on the pole. He's still on pole here at the moment. We do have only about 30 seconds or so to go, so we're just seeing just need to double check if it's a hard cut or not, but it looks like for the moment we're going to see our final cars come over the line.
Jake Jackson, the championship leader, and his Porsche 911 GT3R. Ought to complete this lap. This will be his last chance. And yeah, third at the moment. You just about any improvement could be pole from where he sits.
Such a great shot, just seeing those Porsches come over that hill, and you can see it's that kink comes up really quick. Fastest part of the circuit, and it's right into the slowest part. You can see those curves somewhat reasonably flat, so you can take them quite aggressively. Really opening it up here around turn 18. Very somewhat short run there to that start finish.
Oh no, he's found just 100th of a second. It's put him to second, but he is 11 thousandths shy of pole at the moment. Robert McGrath goes up to 9th. Here's Hayden Jackson. No lap time yet, but Aaron Obersteller shoots to the top of the board. So Aaron Obersteller in the unit-looking Mercedes AMG, his final lap has put him to the tippy top.
There we go. Gee, Hayden Jackson there getting a really good run there. Putting him up into around 13th position, so that'll be his run done.
I think Ian Jordan might be one of the last drivers on a lap if he hasn't already taken the checkered flag, coming out of the chicane right now. Trying to stick to the right-hand side of the road because there's the timing line. And maybe not. Maybe? No movement on the timing board from Ian Jordan. So let's have a look at qualifying for this 25-minute race. Aaron Obersteller picking off that pole position late on in the session. Nick Bottrell, who might have been on target to improve before that crash at 130R. Jake Jackson, the championship leader, will start from 3rd, sharing row 2 with John Nicolay. Joshua Robertson and John Gagliardi are row 3. Ian Jordan, Ashley DeVries, Robert McGrath, Graham Fyland, David Baz, and Ben Pollock is to 12th place, and the rest of our qualified field is Hayden Jackson, Jamie Blackman, Matt Hardigan, and Tom Brown. There are a couple drivers without a qualifying time. We're not going to see Ross Rizzo in this session. I wonder about the other two.
Couple of minutes left there on the clock. I think we might just be clearing out a few cars out of this session, Dave.
I think I'm seeing them all gridding up just before that bridge, just before 130R. Of course, a really unique feature of Suzuka that I was maybe obsessed with as a kid is that figure 8 layout, that crossover.
Almost. Probably a slightly more famous crossover, a little one being, I was about to say Eastern Creek. It is Eastern Creek. Oran Park. Oh, I've got my Sydney tracks all mixed up.
Oran
It's very,
Park,
very unpatriotic of me.
Oran Park, the Suzuka of southwest Sydney.
That's right. The Suzuka of the burbs.
Or is Suzuka the Oran Park of me prefecture?
One car there possibly sorting out their last bits of fuel strategy. Do believe, David, we will see a pit sometime this race.
Yeah, the typical form in these races has been about 10 minutes to the starting fuel. So imagine it'll be there or thereabouts in this one. It's a 2-minute lap around here. So really we could be asking ourselves, is it 5 or is it 6 laps? Opening stint, truncated formation lap.
There we go.
Go read the Wikipedia article on Ferris wheels, man. They built so many of them in the 1890s. Stopped. People stopped caring. And then suddenly in the 1980s, we started building, you know, the London Eye and Ferris wheels again. They had like a century break And then they came back into fashion for some reason. Racing never went out of fashion, waiting for that green flag. Aaron Obersteller, the pole man in the unit Mercedes, has Nick Bottrell on his outside. They get quite a long way down the starting grid before we get into action. That is a big old launch from John Nicolay from the outside there. There's no room for him around the outside of turn number 1. Super quick flick always tests you when the tyres are cold, and there's been just a little bit of contact back there between Ben Pollock and Hayden Jackson. Up front, Jake Jackson looking to strike back. He had that inside through turn 1, benefited him well. Now they go in side by side through this almost never-ending series of S's.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see that GT3 aero in full effect as you're exactly right, those S's, these really, really long radius corners. You just, even this left-hander here, on and on and on. Hard on the brakes again.
Jackson's gotten through. Bottrell goes wide at the first Degner. He's off in the gravel and can't stop it for the second Degner, and he kisses that gravel. He puts an inflation graphic into his rear wing, and that, for Nick Bottrell, has really, really set him back early in this race.
Yeah, definitely not kind of the inflation he was hoping for. We did see him having a pretty big accident in qualifying as well, so he's just really trying to get a handle of that. You have to say, he's definitely got the pace though, but you've just got to keep that consistency going.
Through Spoon Curve at the very far end of the circuit, back around, heading back towards pit straight. Gagliardi in the BMW, slightly trimmed back this round after its past successes. Robertson decided, I'm not sure I'm getting past at 130R.
Yeah, that back section of the circuit is actually quite narrow. When you see them pull up side by side, there's not really much room past that. So, yeah, really forcing these drivers, if you want to try and make a move on that section, really got to thread that needle. Obviously, that start-finish straight opens up quite a lot as they come through for our first lap. Obersteller in the lead.
Yeah. And then second place starter Nick Bottrell back in 17th at the minute. We did have Adam Hillmotion and Stephen Gallico without qualifying times take the start of this race to give us an 18 car field. Ross Rizzo fans will be delighted to know he'll be in action later on in the Pro-Am Sim Series. Might have jumped the gun a little bit, trying to put his car on pit lane in this session. But lets you know he's keen to race Suzuka.
Yeah, so
different lines at that hairpin.
yeah, absolutely. And then you'll see as they come into Spoon Curve how it opens up, because it's hairpin shaped, but it's almost, call it deformed hairpin. You see those different lines as they come out of it. So inside, outside, back to in, coming over that crest there. Well, as we do have Stephen Gallicher there having a minor moment. He's able to get back on a track. We just see how close that they're running together. That is Joshua Robinson there on the back of John Gagliardi there out in front of the BMW. Almost looked like he got tagged from behind. A little bit of oversteer coming into that chicane section. Looks to be well away though. He's all over the back. Nothing separating those two.
You're not going to believe this. From 1985 to 1989, the world's tallest Ferris wheel was in Tsukuba.
There we go. Little
Ferris wheel facts tonight with David Haynes.
It just looked big because it was next to such a little track. They go, yeah, it's a road circuit. It's just the size of a go-kart track. Just makes our Ferris wheels look bigger. I do believe our
Interesting.
one here in Melbourne has just been decommissioned, so they're actually in the middle of pulling it down. They did put it in the non-touristy part of the city that comes from stuff in this freeway.
Yeah, you see it as you're coming into town, and you think, oh, I'm probably not going to end up anywhere near that this week, so I've never been on it. So blame me, I guess. The racing carries on, and no shortage of action. 18 cars still in circulation. This is at the first Degner for David Baz. Negotiates that cleanly. Goes underneath the overpass at the hairpin. Porsche versus Porsche. Oh. Okay, alright.
Almost looked like he outbraked himself, possibly, but yeah, a bit of a hip and shoulder on the way through David Bassett. Not losing too much there.
I'm not sure the move wasn't on. That was a bit touring car, but it works for both of the Porsche drivers. One of the few Ferraris we've got. Gallagher runs super deep on the way into the chicane. Of course, you're looking to square it up on the exit, but Tom Brown hasn't quite picked up the same traction as the Ferrari. We know that Ferrari has got legs and legs underneath it. And here's Jamie Blackman, one of the other Ferraris, just up the road, sandwiched between Matt Hardigan in the Porsche and Ben Pollock. Driving a Pollock BMW.
I was going to say the great work by Gallagher there to get back onto the back. Obviously, he had that incident a little bit earlier, so managed to chase down Tom Brown and get around him. That's such a good shot, isn't it, there from that bumper of Jake Jackson there, currently in second place. Aaron Overseller. So these two haven't completely pulled away from everyone. There's about 9/10 there to John Nicolev, so Nicolev almost in no man's land at the moment. Cars in front.
Robson tried to get down the inside of the hairpin on John Gagliardi. That's a move that a couple of drivers were tempted to try. Does not always work. Down the inside of Spoon Curve just might. Mercedes gets in pretty deep again if you get that AstroTurf on the far side of the curve. It's not only slippery, it does seem a little unpredictable. Is there an AMG nose width down the inside? There is, so they'll look to shape side by side to 130R. Ash DeVries down the inside of Gagliardi and makes that one work. Oh, Ian Jordan's misjudged it big time. He's braking zone at the triangle. Shot way, way deep through there.
Yeah, very lucky there. Might have to catch that on a replay potentially from on board. Would have just an almost dark green and gold BMW just fly completely over that right-hand side. So we're just focusing in. Oh, very, very lucky there not to take out another car.
He's bearing down great knots on Ian Jordan, and yeah, that's a sizable misjudgment.
Yeah, it almost looked like he'd forgotten on which part of the track he was on, so
Really wanted that motorbike chicane. BMW make motorbikes. I don't think I need to tell you who does and doesn't make motorbikes, Nick. Dramas then for Pollock.
almost if it was a motorbike, it'd be a BMW dirt bike, which I did actually have. What's going on here? Potentially just running that little bit wide has just clipped a little bit of that grass and sand, and thankfully
the guy.
Oh, he's actually.
I think Blackman had a hell of a moment after that as well. Wow. Okay. This is up front. About to be 5 laps completed. Obastella leads from Jackson. Is that pit entry going to get a workout from any of our drivers at this time around? It will. From Obastella, but Jake Jackson continues. So the Mercedes in. Oh, hang on. Oh no, this is gonna proper Austin Powers moment. The pit entry's blocked. Oh, tries to get out of the way, and I think he does the only sensible thing in that situation. So there's been contact on the pit entry. This is another one of those circuits where you drive quite a way into the pit entry before the pit lane speed limit starts. Wow.
I think it was actually a little bit of getting them back, because we did see those two earlier hip and shouldering through the hairpin, so maybe he's just giving a bit of that medicine best served cold a couple of laps later.
No, I didn't see much like that in it. I just saw a big difference in speed, and
yeah, I think it was
Spaz
more
thought he could get through, and
yeah, two people in the wrong spot. Maybe.
so only a small number of drivers didn't pit after 5 laps, and they were Jake Jackson, Joshua Robertson, Ashley DeVries, John Gagliardi, Stephen Gallagher, Nick Bottrell, who is motoring along after losing a lot of time early. He had the incident that we saw on the opening lap at the Degners, did Nick Bottrell, but then he had another lap where he lost 10 seconds or so. He's back on pace now, so pretty rough start for him. Now after 6 laps, here comes Jake Jackson.
There you go. Setting them all off at the moment, so it does look like, at least for the moment, our top 4 are in. There's only 2 cars that are waiting to come in, so it's just these 2 here, so that'll be all 5. So surely everyone was running their fuel all the way right down. So having a look there, I think that is going to be, I think, Aaron Overseller there out on track, so he's going to go all the way from 8th to around 4th position there. So goes, how strong that, oh, actually
Gone super hot into turn 1 and then run it a little wide in turn 2. Was hoping to carry some speed at the only recently back on the track, Joshua Robertson. Didn't quite mesh for him.
It is actually looking through just at our stops as well. It looked like Aaron Obersteller had probably one of the longest stops there, DeVries and Gagliardi there, so Nickliff as well. It did look like Jake Jackson, who is out in the front there, having that stop there of 12.2 seconds, so really nailing the most efficient amount of fuel he can get.
Always feels like one of the little advantages that the Porsche 911 GT3R has got in this style of racing is whenever there's someone with a short pit stop, it always seems to be one of these Porsches. That's why they've had a little power reduction. That's why they were carrying 45 kilograms of ballast in the 24-hour series esports. It just makes such a good endurance racing car. Better to their tires over a long run. Very flexible in the fuel game department.
Seeing quite busy there through that chicane section, so great work by our drivers. They're just coming across the line there. I think that is Ian Jordan, Ashley DeVries and John Gagliardi there just over the line, so Apparently it's estimating they're about 6.1, or sorry, about 6 laps or so to go. So, oh, Hayden Jackson almost think he was part of the D1 Grand Prix then with that big slide coming in and tried to get back on the line. There was a Ferrari.
We
right in
demand
his way.
slow-mo. Not a Tokyo drift, but a Suzuka drift, just catching a tiny bit of the grass. Have you got your Eurobeat ready? We don't seem to have any royalty-free Eurobeat lying around for Hayden Jackson.
Oh,
Goes and then lock stops, steering into it.
that's right. The poor Mercedes giving as much steering lock as it can. He was actually aiming through the corner there, so it wasn't actually that bad. He could have. Yeah, he would have had a really hairy moment, or 2 of them in a row. Did not lose too much time.
He kept it on track, but got snuck up on. Jamie Blackman. Oh no, he's off the circuit again, and he finds that you can't brake, can't steer in the gravel, and hits the tyres exactly where Nick Bottrell did.
Yeah, so might cut to a replay if we do get the chance there. So he's it can kind of show just how quickly your rhythm can be broken there. So came off the track, had that little bit of a slide, tried to collect himself, and we're going to have a look now exactly what had happened here. Only a little bit further along. Oh, he's quite wide there.
He's got Nick Bottrell just behind him as well at this point as well, who's repaired his rear wing. First part of this lap, the first half, definitely a rhythm. Just so much apex curb at the first Degner. Just launched him skyward. The car wasn't going to brake or turn when it was in the air. When it did land, it was in the gravel.
Yeah, there you go. So pretty disappointing chain of events there for Nick Bottrell. So all the way down there in about 13th place. So knowing that did start second there at the start of this race. So definitely one that he'll forget. Maybe he can try and he's not too far behind Jamie Blackman there at the moment. So maybe he can at least try and get close enough to another potential top 10. Starting to heat up, so Oversteller in Jordan Ashley DeVries, John Gagliardi there. So yeah, Oversteller was very much near the front at the start of this race. Has just come down a few positions there into 4th place. So under a fair bit of pressure there for me, Jordan Ashley DeVries.
Tom Brown. Tough break there. Is Nick Bottrell back in the race after a tough start? All over the back of the Ferrari of Jamie Blackman. Super run in the slipstream there about as he got up into 6th gear, but has to breathe out of it through 130R. Blackman defends the inside, which Bottrell was definitely thinking about at chicane. That's going to set him back. Have to try again later on this lap. Oh, the rear's gone on Bottrell. He was a little wide at turn 2. Tried to really sharply turn it back in. And he's lost the rear. The Audi not looking the easiest of all of these GT3 models to drive. Is iRacing too realistic, Nick?
Yeah, there you go for Bottrell. It's just had constant It's definitely his pace. So if you look towards his fastest lap, he'd be around about that top 10 as around about that 2-minute flat race pace, but it's just struggled constantly there.
Aaron Obersteller might have had a little imitation of one of his Mercedes driving friends here at Spoon Curve. It goes wide in the first segment. He just gets a kiss from the green AstroTurf. Costs him 2 positions. Not quite as high speed though, so not quite as a slow-mo replay, but it drops him back to 6th. Sean Jordan and Ashley DeVries went through. 3 more laps for everyone. Jake Jackson leading by 5 seconds. Pretty close amongst this group. Biggest mover in the field, Stephen Gallagher, one of those drivers without a qualifying time. Now he's looking down the inside of Matt Hardikin and he just squeezes the Ferrari in there.
Yeah, so Stephen Gallagher as well, having that off a little bit earlier on as well, so he's made up some really good time. Actually did manage to bag himself a top 10 position, so if you can hold off on that at the moment, which having a look at his pace coming through, he's definitely got it in him. Oh,
Yikes.
Boxel again.
Greatest of looking graphics, is it? Started 2nd, running 14th at the moment, and just having a real handful with that car and this track surface.
There you go, Jake Jackson though. Well and truly clear though, so it's about 6 seconds ahead there of John Nikoloff. He's just absolutely looking at the moment.
It was one of my favourite cars. I'm firmly on team Porsche 911 peaked with the 991.2 generation.
Yeah, I don't mind the new Porsches. They're all delightful, even the old air-cooled ones.
This could be heating up amongst this group. Riding on board with John Gagliardi. About 0.3 quicker than Obersteller in front last lap. And Ashley DeVries just in front matched that about as well. Just maybe a hint of Obersteller struggling a little bit to the tail end of this race. It's 2 laps to go, so you can't wait forever. Whoa, he was lucky to not be a tiny bit further out on that gravel, because that has then suckered a lot of people into the wall at the second Degner.
See just how good of a run he got out. Quite a few of those Mercedes together at the moment in a bit of a BMW sandwich. Through the back section, we're going to see our clock come all the way down there to pretty much 0 there, Ash DeFree. So we just had Jake Jackson there cross the line, so he's on the final lap. We're going to go change to a white flag, so hopefully everyone's taking enough fuel there. We don't, I think Jackson and Jordan there took a very, very short stop of around 12 seconds. So just see Ashley DeVries trying to shake Oversteller off the back.
Thinking about trying to break a little bit of the slipstream as they start the final lap. Oversteller just a little bit wide. There seems like there's so many corners around here at the Degners, at Spoon Curve, in between 1 and 2, where you want to carry lots of speed in, but if it pushes you just a little bit too wide, you can start getting yourself into a lot of trouble. A little mistake can become a big one.
You can see not close enough to really get an attack in at the moment, so they are only sitting about 4/10 or so around. Potentially, I suppose they could try and line it up through that really lush chicane there at the end of the straight. Oh, almost outbraked himself. Came in hot. Actually did close that gap actually quite a lot there with that late break. So Ashley DeVries there choosing a little bit more of a conservative braking application there.
Compromise himself going a little shallow into Spoon here, because it looks like that final chicane is your last opportunity for overtaking. You need a great run down here and towards the final chicane. That's where Jake Jackson is. Leader 6 seconds earlier. It's trimmed down a little bit in the last 2 laps. A solid win for him in Japan. Nicolay through in a second, Robertson in third. Jordan might be a little bit running out of fuel in that BMW here. DeVries and Oversteller and Mercedes have caught him, but the line comes up quick out of the final corner for 4th, 5th and 6th.
Good run there by Graham Fryland there, getting himself inside the top 10. Gallagher there all the way from the back of the field, almost into that 10th position. I have to say, I think that is Nick Bottrell there, a race to forget. Not even really been able to pick up a whole bunch of points in this one, but just trying to keep it on the black stuff just seems to be bit of a struggle here at the moment, but he'll be glad to see that checkered flag. But definitely a bit of a takeaway for himself on to next round.
Tristan Bottrell making some movements after the line. Still got Robert McGrath and Tom Brown coming around the Suzuka lap. Makes Hayden Jackson our only retirement from past 2. And that's everyone. Jake Jackson, a good win from John Nicolay and Joshua Robertson. It's a great podium to have your name start with J. We all know if Jay Kennedy was racing, he wouldn't be on the podium, but it's a good run for those guys. In Jordan, Ashley DeVries, Aaron Oversteller, John Gagliardi, Dave Baz, Graham Violent, and Stephen Gallagher at the top 10. Gallagher from no qualifying time, the biggest mover in this field, with +7 positions into that top 10. Matt Hardigan, Jamie Blackman, Ben Pollock, Nick Bottrell, the second place qualifier, back in 14th as he just couldn't get a grip on that Audi here tonight. And Adam Hillmotion, Robert McGrath, Tom Brown, the last cars on the lead lap. And like you said, a retirement from Hayden Jackson. And you'll see Ross Rizzo a little bit later, don't worry. So we've got the next tier, top tier of the simrigs.com Oz Pro-Am Sim Series coming up in just a minute. We're gearing up, getting ready for that here on SimSpeed TV. Simrigs.com as title partner of the Oz Pro-Am Sim Series Stick with us, more racing from Suzuka in just a moment.
Hey. Oh. So you do like it? I love it. Yeah.
Now when you go pre-owned, you can enjoy the same feeling you get with a new Toyota. Tested and backed by Toyota.
Upgrade your car, mate.
This? Yeah, no big deal.
Toyota certified. Pre-owned in a class of its own. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
World of Outlaws Dirt Racing is available now. Download your copy today.
Welcome back to Suzuka Circuit. More racing coming up for us now in simrigs.com Oz Pro Am Sim Series. Different balance of performance for our Pro and Am competitors, but the same 6 GT3 cars on option. And the pit lane will again be a busy place for these races. Great partners for the Oz Pro Am Sim Series, supporting the series, supporting the broadcast. Key among them, of course, title sponsor simrigs.com, offering a large range of affordable and high-end racing simulator equipment for the beginner and pro alike. Australian owned and operated, product advice and warranty service, single product or full turnkey rigs. Use the promo code OzProAm for a 5% discount at checkout. You see it on your screen there, 5% discount at checkout, code OzProAm. Suzuka Toyota is a family-owned and operated business that understands purchasing, and owning a vehicle is a unique and important experience for our guests. We are committed to the Toyota brand, holding the full vehicle range. This means that when you come to our dealership, you'll be able to view and test drive any Toyota that interests you. We also stock a diverse range of quality and certified pre-owned vehicles, each of which has been handpicked by us. For more, head to achukatoyota.com.au. Ferguson Group Media are a full-stack media company that work with SME businesses across website development, e-commerce, social media strategy and execution. For information, head to fergusongroupmedia.com. So in the big boy league of the Oz Pro-Am Sim Series, this is the Pro Points. Kobe Williams in the occasionally offensively green Mercedes AMG is only just ahead of Lachlan Capel in the BMW and Dylan O'Shea in the Porsche 911 GT3R. Although O'Shea might have been one of those drivers to have swapped car once this championship. Marcus Watson in fourth in the Audi, and then Ross Rizzo, Brad Watson, Daniel Yeaman, Sebastian Flock, Christopher Hen, and Adam Funslow as our top 10. Flock and Hen in the Lamborghini, which we didn't see in Pass 2, but we might just see coming up in action for us now. What about those Audi R8s, though? How are they going to fare in pro hands, seeing as they looked a little bit challenging, maybe even a little evil in Pass 2? AM standings, Tim Harris has the lead from Stephen Tonkin, Lencido Riddle, Jeffrey Wang, Gustavo Cirillo, Tom Wilkinson, Sam Lehman, Jordan Ferguson, Tony Baker, and Hayden Veld. Things are super close in both of those championships after 5 rounds, and Suzuka could be the track to blow it wide open for someone.
Yeah, absolutely. We did see a really big mix. It does seem like our M class there heavily favours the Audi and the Mercedes. So we're going to get a bit more of a spread with a bit more smattering of Ferraris and Lamborghinis here.
My favourite spread with a smattering would be a sushi platter with takoyaki.
I was about to say peanut butter's my favourite spread with a smattering of jam.
Okay. Smooth or crunchy, my man?
I have to go crunchy, but to be honest, I go through so much of it, I could eat a smooth jar and then it doesn't even really sink in.
If you just got yourself a packet of crushed peanuts, you could turn any smooth peanut butter into a crunchy peanut butter.
That is true. Or you could, and they've got those really fancy Whole Foods supermarkets where you make your own through the machine. And then they're having big signage saying don't smack the side of the machine, but to make it go faster you need to smack the side of it.
Right, it's like pinball.
That's right, you got to give it a big hip and shoulder bump.
Good old tilt sensor in the grocery store, apparently. So this is what we're shaping up for at Suzuka in Oz Pro-Am Sim Series and the Pro-Am race. 10-minute sprint to kick us off in race number 1 before we get into the 40-minute pit stop feature race. Cars that are good for 10 minutes and cars that are good for 40 minutes can be different in GT3 action. We saw Porsche come on a little strong late on Pass 2. The case here, slightly different balance of performance. It does seem to follow a similar trend. Who would have thunk that cars that are good are cars that are good, but a little different in Pass 2 to Pro-Am hands. Again, the Ferrari at full power, the Porsche a little restricted. I think the biggest difference here is what was the BMW on in Pass 2. It's definitely a little more restricted here. Well, let's have a quick look. It's a little spot the difference for your Thursday night. Oh no, the BMW is the same. You've got 0.5% difference. The Audi, a whole percent different on the Mercedes, and subtle difference on the Lamborghini Huracan. Not that that mattered because we didn't see one in Pass 2, so their balance of performance isn't going to adjust much round to round if no one's racing it.
That's right, they definitely can't adjust its performance if you're sitting in the paddock idling.
You know, when Lamborghini said they were coming out with an SUV, you know, we all had that kind of collective groan. And now they've come out with a Lamborghini, what's the thing called? Urus Performante? And you're like, okay.
Well, I think their whole thing with the argument with the SUV was like, hey, we started from tractors, so we're not that far removed from it. But I think it was more of a collective groan of the demographic that would own a Lamborghini SUV. A Lamborghini being something very audacious, very, very out there, and then opting to go the SUV version of that. So taking away the performance aspect. Oh, well, I guess it's still being pretty fast, but yeah, something equally as loud. Oh, as we see Kobe Williams there going for a slide around that same spot, as we've seen quite a few cars come unstuck in that spot, and he's very quickly jumped in the pits, jumped back in the other car, and he's heading straight back out again.
So the way the twin race heat format works, a hard cut to qualifying. So if you're not just starting one or on one, your qualifying is almost done. Marcus Watson up top, Ross Rizzo in second. So the Audi's not slow. There's a handful of them up there. Is it consistent and drivable in racing conditions? We are yet to find out. Track is cooling off just a little bit as well, as the sun looks a bit low.
Could be potentially. Oh, we're seeing. Yeah, it is 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so very early sunrise there. Gives the whole track a very nice golden hue, though, of course.
Realistic time of day though. Qualifying done for Alex Court, 17th. Currently, who's got pole? It looks to be Tim Harris from Tony Baker and Jai Potts. So Harris has been up there amongst that field. Brad Watson finds out how slippery that AstroTurf is. I'm going to look it up, but now I think about it, AstroTurf does seem like the kind of thing that would have been invented in Japan.
It might have been like the Ferris wheel, where it was all the rage in the 1800s and everyone forgot about it, and now it's a big thing again.
No, it's American. Invented in 1965 by Monsanto.
By Mr. Turf, first name Astro.
Did you ever... I have never heard anyone talk about it since. But, so I'm wondering if I had a bad fever as a child and invented Astro Boy.
No, Astro Boy's a thing.
He was like a rocket kid with like rocket legs.
Very very Japanese style cartoon, whether or not it was actually for the Japanese market. There we go, we've come full circle. We're in Suzuka, we're in Japan. We've managed to loop AstroTurf back to Japan.
Wow, okay, qualifying over, and it is a big grid here for Pass 2. And we've got plenty of racing to come with 2 races gridding up for race number 1 right now. For a top 10 invert from the results sets the grid for round 2. So we'll definitely have our eye on that 10th place come the end of race number 1. Marcus Watson has the pole in the Audi from Ross Rizzo in the Porsche. Tim Auty in 3rd in the Ferrari. Sebastian Flock 4th in the Lamborghini. Lachlan Capel in the BMW in 5th. Makes it a straight flush there at the front of the grid for pole sitter's brother. I'm pretty sure Brad Watson has the Audi in 6th place. So those are some good names for our top 6. Could be some very, very exciting racing there. Tyson Broad, Andrew Dyson, Daniel Yeaman, Joshua Fitt, Dylan O'Shea, and Luke Fitt to row 6. Christopher Henn, Chu Kang, Kobe Williams, a little further down than we might have expected to see him, but we did see pushing those limits a little bit in qualifying and maybe not every lap stuck how he would have liked. Jordan Peter alongside him. Then Timothy Harris, our highest placed AM runner, denoted by the blue number panels, shares that row with Harry Lawrence.
Yeah, absolutely there. Row 10, Alex Court, Adam Funslow to there, Tony Baker, another one of our Pro-Am cars there, Richard Brookfield, Matthew Johnson at Dry Pots. We'll go over the page there to row 13, Aaron Cooper, Adam Jepson, Derek Ortiz, Sam Lehman, Brady Buchanan, Tom Wilkinson there on row 15, and then we've got Stephen Tonkin, Jeffrey Wang, and then Gustav Cirillo. I do believe we've got a few extra cars that I haven't seen. Jackson Susan Halliwell. Oh, okay, so we'll take the grid in the pro, so he'll be one expecting to be absolutely shooting through the back of the field there, so we'll be keeping one eye on him.
Our drivers ready, nervous anticipation potentially on the formation lap. 10-minute all-out sprint in race number 1, but you can't afford to go throw anything away because it sets your starting position for race number 2. And you want to be inside of that top 10 if you can for the invert. Someone missing, or is the inside line a little held back? So close between Ross Rizzo and your pole sitter Watson. We roar into life down towards turn number 1 where things could get spicy. Things are already spicy. The Ferrari of Tim Audi spun around a full 180. Lamborghini of one of the ILEC cars goes into the wall as well. Christopher Henn, one of our running Lamborghinis.
Actually has led into a different, into another incident as well by Andrew Dyson, so all those cars will be pretty upset, as you can imagine, not even making the first corner. There we go, though. We do have Sebastian Flock there in the Lamborghini in 3rd position, so for at least our top 20 cars, all getting away there somewhat cleanly, but gee, we're very, very lucky not to have a track blockage today.
Yeah, absolutely. Chaos and Carnage to kick off race number 1. Marcus Watson still leads. Tight line through the hairpin. Rizzo takes it a little wider, and sometimes there's grip up high through there as well. Multiple lines seem to work the way that the camber is. Watson up in 4th. And looking at Kobe Williams, can't miss him, behind Lachlan Capel. Williams really has come from 15th to 8th in half a lap.
Yeah, we'll have to see where Jackson Susan Harlow that is as well. I think he was sitting around 19th place, so we don't know if he started all the way back. A 35 cars out on grid, so yeah, those two in particular just absolutely shot through the field.
One lap completed of what? Ooh, should probably be 6 laps. It'll be pretty close there. They're just underneath 2 minutes. Let's see. 5 or 6 laps. It could actually be super close here. If Watson can keep doing 58s, then I think we should have a 6-lap race. But if they battle up front and bring their average lap above 2 minutes, 5-lap race. Watson not showing any signs of slowing down at the lead here.
Oh, gee, that was a really, really crossed up there coming over that coming up over that curve, but there we go, Sebastian Plotho keeping it pointing straight where he needs to be. How much that Audi behind pulls in, just seems to stop just a little bit stronger. Lamborghini though stretching its legs away.
Aaron Cooper in behind Jackson Sizzlin Harlow with Cody Deeth behind. Very ambitious from Deeth, but it almost works. Cooper has a big wobble mid-corner, goes out wide and Deeth will go through. The racing line at the inside line, trying to defend on the way into 130R.
Harlow almost flashing the lights by the bit. He wants these guys out of his way. See how strong he comes onto that start finish straight.
A couple of big movers in this sprint race so far, isn't there? Harlow from 33rd. Williams has jumped a whole heap to be right with the leaders, up in 7th place. BMW goes a little wide. Chu Kang laying down the drift. Oh no, that's not it. That ain't it. That's still not it.
Oh.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I've seen that white Ferrari, I think, over the top of at least 3 cars there, just in that one shot. So we'll have to have a look. Thankfully, his GT3 cars are nice and low, managed to fit over the top and all on his own. And then not much he can do is actually spun himself back on. You actually see Harlow there up through the inside, over 2 already, over another one. I'm sure we'll slide another one underneath. There we go. That Ferrari definitely looking second hand. I dare say he's going to have to take a pit toe, which
Godzilla does less damage than that sometimes.
Gee, you can see just how far they run it.
Their
Taking
teammates have Fit and O'Shea in matching Porsches here in 10th and 11th. And this is an interesting battle for teammates because remember, if they finished like this, Fit goes to pole position and O'Shea starts out of 11th. It's almost like the transfer spot in Speedway. It's not quite so high stakes as I need to adjust my prescription, but so does Jay potentially.
This is how the graphics normally look on my computer during iRacing anyways. It's just everything's just dots. Yeah, so
I'll look it up. I bet you Japan invented autofocus too.
or at least the digital camera maybe. Oh no, we've just seen those two have swapped positions again. It's actually playing into the hands there of Daniel Yeaman there in 9th position. So Yeaman actually gaining about a second out of these two, fighting and switching over.
For all of their ingenuity and inventiveness, I'm still giving them credit for things other people done because autofocus was developed by Leitz. And then initially licensed to Leica, so a German invention. Well, that 10th spot is definitely going to heat up as we go on. Williams watching what's unfolding in front of him. How's the glare as well as they cross the line of the sun. Sort of twitchy looking cars through the long corners, through the fast corners, and track limits being very self-enforcing in places at Suzuka tonight.
Just see how much wheel work happens around. Kobe Williams, you'd really think it'd be quite smooth coming out of that big sweeping corner.
What's Barney got? What's Barney got in his hands? There was about 2 minutes 4 seconds when Watson crossed the line. So it ought to be another 2, but it can't be sure. It will be 2 to go. Nothing from Barney. So look for there to be 3 seconds left when we start the final lap. It was a close one. I get smart. Kobe Williams using the bumpers a little bit back here, up in a 6th. Luke Fit under pressure, and now under more pressure. You lose one spot, you're liable to lose more. Tyson Broad washes across his nose through what's apparently called off-banked turn, feeds into Dunlop.
Still Luke Fit in that hot seat there at the moment, in that 10th position, so Dylan O'Shea potentially missing out. There you go, Kobe Williams there. That is actually a luck car, I apologize. Of Chute Kang as we did see, so trying to make as much space as he can. Not too much space there, you just see that glass there on his left hand side.
So there will be one more lap after this one, not the final lap. Marcus Watson and Ross Rizzo stretching their legs away from the rest of the field. Sebastian Flock won't be too disappointed with this race so far. He's a little quiet in 3rd place, started in 4th. So that's good points, and then a reasonable enough starting position when we calculate the top 10 invert. Big dives, big sends. Tyson Broad and Luke Fit, door-to-door contact, and the Yeaman just behind now as well.
There we go, fair look of concentration. Of course, looking back, he's got 3 of those Simrigs cars all behind him there, so he'll be spending a lot of time there looking in his rearview mirror. A little bit of a gap up ahead to Tyson Broad, so
make you want to use code OzProAm at checkout?
yeah, absolutely.
Right as the Gustavo Cirillo fans join us on the broadcast, he's had a big one. Turn 1.
Whoa.
Okay, so that's Matthew Johnson, and okay.
What has happened here? Yeah, possibly. I think a little bump might be an understatement. It's definitely enough to unsettle.
Alain Prost, Ayrton Senna, maybe?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I like the look of that one. More dramas for Luke Fit then on the final lap here as he finds out that spoon curve is best for drifting. Marcus Watson though, broken the 1 second. He's looking like he's tracking for sprint race victory at Suzuka in simrigs.com Oz Pro Am Sim Series. Barney, where you at? What you got? I don't know where he stands here, but that's the finish of the race. Watson, Rizzo, Flock. Back here, it is Dylan O'Shea with the 10th place, who will start race 2 as pole sitter. That was a pretty bruising race all around. It's not done yet. Johnson, someone else around at the triangle.
Yeah, I do believe it was Tom Wilkinson. This is a really, really... Oh, actually these two thinking that... Oh no. It's actually that Eilert car. 24 Eilert car though. Might have been Jeffrey Wang. 2 for 1 there. contact after those two getting together.
So what a bruising race. You would want to start pretty high up for this race number 2 if the opening lap delivers as much chaos and carnage as we saw out of that one. But then a little later on, we had a sort of turn 2 pile up as well. Suzuka bringing the action. Marcus Watson taking the win from Ross Rizzo, Sebastian Flock, Brad Watson, Lachlan Capel, Kobe Williams, a big mover through the field, Tyson Broad, Daniel Yamer, Josh Fitt, Dylan O'Shea. Take that as your top 10 and flip them. Race number 2, everyone else starts as they finished. Jordan Peter, Adam Funslow, Harry Lawrence, Luke Fitt, Jackson Susan Harlow from the tail of the field right into the meat of it. Alex Court, Aaron Cooper, Cody D. And definitely some action for the AM runners as well. I think they would have been well tangled in some of the pile-ups we saw. So Jai Potts comes away with the win there. And Sam Lehman second. Adam Jepson, Jeffrey Wang, Brady Buchanan work out as their top 5. Eventful for Matthew Johnson, Tim Audie, Brookfield, Andrew Dyson, and Tony Baker, Tom Wilkinson as well. Christopher Henn in 30th. Tim Harris, pole sitter from AM class, just staying on the lead lap. Gustavo Cirillo, Chu Kang, Stephen Tonkin, and Derek Auty a lap down. We are going to have to catch our breath, and so are a lot of the drivers. Race 2, a couple minutes away. It's going to be 40 minutes. We hopefully see more strategy. We're going to see pit stops as well. That's our big finale for this round of the simrigs.com Oz Pro Am Sim Series. Take a break. See you in a minute.
So you do like it?
I love it, yeah.
Now when you go pre-owned, you can enjoy the same feeling you get with a new Toyota. Tested and backed by Toyota.
Upgrade your car, mate.
This? Yeah, no big deal.
Toyota certified. Pre-owned in a class of its own. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
This is your chance to get behind the wheel. The opportunity to race just like the pros. From the grassroots levels, where we all got our start, to the most popular race cars on the planet. From the fairgrounds of Nashville to the high banks of Daytona, to tracks that will never be forgotten. Realistic driving, intense competition, all from the comfort of your own home. This is the ultimate motorsports simulation. This is iRacing.
Well, the 10-minute sprint of race 1 delivered the fireworks. What will race 2 have in store for the Oz Pro-Am Sim Series. I can tell you, it's definitely pit stops. Fuel strategy is going to play into our hands in this 40-minute race number 2. They're not far away from gridding up. How cleanly can we get through the opening laps this time? David Haynes here with Nick Skariev, Jay Kennedy on the production as you join us for the last of 3 races in tonight's Simrigs.com Oz Pro-Am Sim Series from Suzuka.
Absolutely. So we've just hit our checkered flag. Did have a 5-minute practice for a few of the drivers, maybe just dialing in a little bit more of the setup after they've now got a bit of laps under their belt.
So the top 10 invert sets the grid like this. Dylan O'Shea and Joshua Fitt, teammates, have row 1. And then it's teammates of Yeaman and Broad in Audis on row 2. Interesting little starting grid we have there. Will that maybe help things stay clean? If it doesn't, there's going to be some awkward team meetings. Kobe Williams and Lachlan Capel are the row 3. And completing the top 10 invert, Brad Watson, Sebastian Flock, Ross Rizzo, and Marcus Watson. Jordan Peter just missing the opening hours of the lolly shop.
Absolutely, we do have Harry Lawrence, Luke Fitt, Jackson Susan Harley. We did see come all the way from the back of the field. I think might have just lost a couple of positions in that minor moment. Alex Cord as well. So we're actually, I think we're going to see quite a lot of pace there out of Jackson Susan Harley there in 15th, and then Kobe Williams in 5th. So I think Kobe could be definitely a long shot now for the win.
It's looking very dark with 40 minutes on the clock for race number 2. In fact, I think that sun is below the horizon there.
It is. I almost forget that there is such a thing as non-daylight saving time and seasons. I'm so used to sun setting now at 8 p.m. here, but of course it is becoming winter over in Japan now.
Sun rises at like 4:40 a.m. in Brisbane at the moment, man. It's crazy. But we get racing. 40 minutes of action. Immediately the field fan out. We're looking for 4 wide in towards turn 1. Kobe Williams, you almost lost sight of him. It's the camo livery. Couple drivers off already. Cody Deep manages to just hold on to it. Tyson Broad has gone well wide as well. Well wide. Tyson, very broad indeed.
Yeah, Broad by name and by driving style there. We did see Kobe Williams very lucky there to manage to steer into it. Oh, as we just see some kind of hip and shoulder bump there. We'll have to cut.
Dylan O'Shea finds the wall at the outside of Dunlop as well to get back on track. His teammate Andrew Dyson also dirt tracking it out there. This is a longer race, but it is just as crazy. Lap number 1, drivers looking for the move down the inside of the second Degner. Puts Joshua Fitt to the lead from Williams, from Capel, from Flock. So Watson's had a bobble. There it was. There it was.
Have a look there at what had happened there between whether or not Kobe Williams was involved in that. We know that he was absolutely a man on a mission there at the moment. Oh, gee, that was a hard one to call. Kobe having that inside most, so whether or not that DPR car came in over the top. Seeing car 51 there. Oh, Jackson Susan Harley, so all the way in 15th is now put himself all the way, those 20 positions he's gained throughout that last sprint race is now all the way back. So we'll have a bit of a look there, whether or not he was assisted in that. Seems to have, gee, what a, the rear of that Audi just absolutely coming around on him completely out of nowhere.
Seen Mercedes do it there though as well, and just get a kiss on the AstroTurf far side of the curb. It's the race lead.
It's amazing.
Toby Williams right with and hounding him.
It's just so amazing how quickly those Audis, I guess, really stiff suspension just throws them out. Gustavo Cyril there, all the way down the back as well, so not having a very great round this. We see Andrew Dyson as well, so Dyson down about 4 positions in the DDRC mix. Beautiful sound there of that Porsche down the back part of the circuit there. 6-cylinder absolutely roaring away there. There was a car there. I think that might have been Jeffrey Wang there. Off to his left-hand side. I've seen quite a few cars come off in that part. It's a very short little right-hand kink there, which is as they go under that bridge. Trying to work out, is that a potato livery there on that Lamborghini? I'm trying to make it out. Might have to step and get a zoomed in shot there. That potatoes for dinner, so
yeah, those are spuds. Boil them, mash them, stick them on a Lambo.
it actually has something written on the roof as well, which I didn't quite catch. We'll have to see. Maybe I'll get the Potato Squad. So there we go. You would think there wasn't a lot of effort put into that livery, but someone went to the effort there of the big banner on the roof.
Toby Williams now leads the way. And O'Shea comes in with the damage we saw earlier. Capel in second with that BMW. So Fit now third with the Porsche. Flox Lamborghini looking very menacing. Ooh, wide from Capel.
Yep. Didn't really see too much there of Lachlan Capel. He was very much sliding underneath that radar a bit earlier on, but yeah, definitely trying to get in that mix there at the moment.
Still super close at the opening here with your top 16 cars in 8 seconds. Means there's an average of half a second car to car to car to car, and it shows that side by side here as they come into 130R. How does the Audi survive that? It was Deep who had the inside in the Porsche. And how does Daniel Gaiman feel about that? Looking to strike back maybe around the outside if he can. Around the outside at turn 1 is the way to go. How's the horsepower difference? Who's got the drag in the straight line? Looks to be the Audi, nose in front at the commitment for 1 and 2. It's just right-hander, right-hander, right-hander. It keeps going. Deeth has a wobble. Deeth has a big wobble, and then Gaiman looks to go over under, but then he loses grip at the rear. Johnson, oh no! And Aaron Cooper.
Well, he's gonna. Yeah, it's a tricky part of the circuit to try and re-enter in on. Gee, all of them were all over the place through those sections, those big sweepers there.
Cooper a little bit blocked the over-under, and he loses the rear. Tags Johnson. Johnson, yep, someone. Might have been Adam Jepson actually there in that group. Car park at the hairpin in this group of cars behind Adam Jepson. Lambo vs Lambo, ILEC teammates Richard Brookfield and Christopher Henn. Henn's up 9 spots after a very damaging race 1. Up front, Lachlan Capel, the BMW, finding some speed in this first stint, gets down the inside on Kobe Williams' Mercedes. Damage to the front right for Williams would be where he got ahead of Dylan O'Shea, methinks.
You can just see Joshua Fit though trying to stay in there. There's about a second adrift of these two fighting at the front. Obviously, if they keep going at it like they are, should. Oh, Richard Brookfield there. Big tank slapper though, managing to not spit himself back onto the track there. We are going to cut here to what it would have looked like inside. Oh, I also bumped the car in front.
He was expecting more speed from the Beamer, or he got lost underneath the rear wing of the big Beamer boy. Luke Fit around in the Ferrari on the exit of the second Degner underneath the bridge. Okay. I reckon they had more visibility, more heads up than it looked from that angle. Still, field having to stream around him a little bit. So he gets wide at the first part, and he's offline and wide. And the Ferrari almost toboggans on that curb. It is quite a raised profile of the exit curve there. He didn't reverse through into nothing. How about send back here? Tyson Broad gets down the inside of Jordan Peter at the triangle. Drivers starting to pit now after 5 laps, including Kobe Williams from second place. The Lachlan Capel carries on in the lead. Only one of the Watsons stops.
Yeah, Sebastian Flock though, definitely getting a good haul of points if he can stick around that position now. So he finished up quite at the front there in our sprint race. Quite good here for our feature as well. See, it makes a little bit of ground here on that fast section. Going to the big sweeping corner there, you can actually see that grass has been a bit ripped up from cars going just a little bit wide. Whoa.
It didn't look completely controlled.
Yeah, you can screw. To see how much power they're trying to feed coming out of it. Just a little bit of that opposite lock coming through.
Everyone heading for pit lane now. After 6 laps by the look of it. Busy on the pit lane entry. Of everyone who's been through the lane already, Kobe Williams leads them. We'll see where he comes around through 130R now, leading a couple of those cars that stopped lap 5. really quick stop out of Rizzo. Remember, we saw this from him at previous rounds as well, going just a little short on the first fill. And there he is side by side with Kobe Williams as they go into 1 and 2. Can Rizzo hold the high ground through 2? Not quite, he can't. Williams swoops around the outside, but Rizzo's jumped a bunch of these guys. Marcus Watson, Lachlan Capel. So he's second. This is the lead of the race.
You can see there, Rizzo choosing a really almost 2 seconds shorter than everyone else. So Ross Rizzo, one to watch when it comes to the fuel strategy, whether or not if he can roll out of it, but surely he's going to have to take more fuel the next time around.
Headlights bright, track getting darker, race heating up. Even if the track cools off a little bit, cooler track be good for some of those higher tyre wear cars like the BMW, but it's not hurting the Porsches, and the Audi still looking a really, really challenging car. A little evil, very snappy. I think Tyson Broad, who was slow on the exit of the hairpin. Oh! That's Tyson Broad wide at the spoon. That's a serving spoon, not a tablespoon.
Yeah. So O'Shea there in 11th position. Dylan O'Shea there, black flag. I do believe that might have been
unsafe pit exit, or is it cutting the course?
Yeah, I think that might have been
Okay,
speeding him.
in the triangle.
Possibly speeding in pit. He does have a red square around his lane time, so. Also did take a obscenely short stop there of only about 9 seconds or so.
He came in really early though, remember, so he wouldn't have had room to fit as much fuel as everyone who stopped later. It's busy here amongst this group into turn 1. It's busy amongst the leaders. Oh, you can get so close, but can you pass in the S's? She's trying it. We saw Williams try to make a move from this right-hander into Dunlop, and to be honest with you, it didn't look like it worked in this kind of car. Maybe in V8 supercars, maybe in something heavier, not in these. Move on through Degner there, and the game in muscling past Jordan Peter. Susan Harlow. The cars are all stacked up at one of the slowest points of the track in the hairpin.
You'd have to say he'd have to be the cumulative overtakes. I think he went from, what, 35th to 15th, back down. There you go. It does look like Adam Funslow as well with the black flags.
Could it be for track limits? Track limits are taking a bit of a beating around here at Suzuka, and that could be something. The drivers are already in a 40-minute race overstepping. My goodness. So many places like the Degners, like Spoon Curve, like at turns 1 and 2 here, attempting to run wide. Pressure is on at the lead of the race after the first pit stop. Big speed from Marcus Watson. He's gotten his way around Ross Rizzo. He's shaping up Kobe Williams. He's already +8 positions in this race. So the win in the sprint, starting out at 10th, making some moves in the first stint. Now making some moves in the second stint. Beautiful sunset. Suzuka is kind of on the south or eastern coast of Japan, depending on how you look at it. So the sun kind of sets over the mountains from here. In my head, I kind of think of Japan as being sort of north-south, but it is kind of east-west, and that's how they think of it.
Gee, I'd have to say there, Kobe Williams on the defence there. Ross Rizzo is in a absolutely opportunistic moment. Capel though not that far away as well. He's about 7/10 of a drift stick, so it's really gonna end up being about a 6-car battle here. Surely these two are going to be. There you go, Marcus Watson though, choosing to pick that inside part, so it's going to slow these two up. They're all going to bunch together, at least for these top 4.
Wow, the move pulls off for Marcus Watson, sold a dummy, sent it down the inside at the Casio Triangle, the final chicane, and then went round the outside of the second apex. Great traction on Kobe Williams. Now Ross Rizzo sneaks through as well. That looks like Dylan O'Shea coming in for the second time. Funslow, though, a little on the early side there with the black flag. So they've got to serve and try for the penalties. You were saying opportunistic from Rizzo, and then he struck right as Watson and Williams battled through the final chicane. We've got 2 seconds over our top 6 here, and one more round of pit stops to come as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So all eyes will be there on Marcus Watson, whether or not he's going to try and get that stop in early. So looks to be about 10 laps remaining, and they've all done about 3.5 laps for pretty much most of the top 10. Aside from Kobe Williams, though, who did come in that 1 lap early, so we'll probably expect that again.
Oh, Kobe Williams well wide at Spoon Curve there as well. Absolutely lost in the AstroTurf, and loses out another spot. Capel goes through. Joshua Fitt and Sebastian Flock are about to line him up as well. So Williams was just lightning in race number 1. Lightning in the first stint. Where has the pace gone? He's going to get sent on in the chicane again. And Fitt sneaks his way through. Remember, Williams absolutely slicing his way through Fitt and O'Shea in the first stint of this race, and now they are exacting a little bit of revenge.
Yeah, absolutely indeed. You can just see, as it's just hit after 5 o'clock, how dark it's getting. Surely Williams maybe trying to save a little bit of fuel now.
Williams did stop 1 lap earlier than everyone else in this group. Watson, Rizzo, Capel, Fitt, etc. All of them here stopped after 6 laps instead of after 5 like Williams did.
Absolutely. You actually see Sebastian Flock now closing that gap there on Williams. So Sebastian Flock there, much like the rest of the group.
Reckless drive for Cody Deeth, by the way, started out of 18th place. Now he's 3.5 seconds from the lead in the Porsche, and not a short first fill either. So it doesn't look like he's going to be too penalised come the second round of stops. Yeah, AM leaders are all stacked together as well, a little bit further back. So Lehman leads that class, but he's got Jai Klotz, Brady Buchanan, Tim Harris all right in behind in no pro class cars to give him comfort, he said. Oh no, what have I done? No. Cody Deeth just with the tiniest lick of grass in the dark, harder to spot, catches it at the Casio Triangle at the chicane, and half loops himself around, loses a little bit of time. Broad, Brad Watson, Daniel Yeaman. It's battle of the Audis here as they steam down towards turn number 1. Looking to sell that dummy. Door gets closed. Oh, and they make contact in turn number 1.
There's a big flash of the lights there from Daniel Yeaman, so whether or not...
Now, I speak Audi headlight. The flash of that headlight means nani. So, leading the group here, Watson's middle of the road. Can you change to defend the inside in reaction like that? It doesn't... I mean, that's a super aggressive move that late to try to, you know, send down the inside one car width. But there was a car width.
Yeah, it did look like it was covered off, and just seeing that body language there from Dan Yeaman as well, it did look to be that he thought he was well and truly in the right, so I'm sure race control are going to have a bit of a look at that one, and they've actually given a meatball flag there to Dan Yeaman, so he's not, unfortunately not going his way now. He was sitting around about that top 10, so he's actually dropped all the way down into 12th position, so he'll have to come into the pits for this lap around. And then Cirillo as well, mechanical black flag, so yeah, Gustav Cirillo there. That Audi is looking rather second hand. He did have a big accident in our sprint race at the start as well, so bit of a learning curve. We just saw car 37 off as well. Yeah, Chu Kang there.
So it was a short field from Ross Rizzo the first time around. He's on the lane for the second time. Brad Watson and Daniel Yeaman also in. And they're not going to be alone. There's a couple of drivers filtering through for their second stop with 15 minutes left. As Watson carries on with the lead of the race from Lachlan Capel and Joshua Fitt. Williams Flock. So if Williams makes it even just one lap further into this race, then Ross Rizzo went to his second stop. I think he'll be fine to get home from whenever he stops. He's running long as everyone else.
Go, so everyone just chipping away now. Just seeing the clock there strike under that 15-minute mark, so approximately about 7.5 laps or so. No, a little bit close to the end there. Ross Rizzo though down in 16th, so he's going to be the car to watch. Surely we'll be expecting Kobe Williams there to get his last stop in, whether or not. So they're all sitting around. He'll be sitting around 8 laps or so on that fuel run.
Comes Williams, followed in by Flock. Couple cars keep going. Ross Rizzo has cleared his second stop, but it's put him maybe in a little bit of traffic behind Alex Court, who immediately peels out. Rizzo's second stop, 11 seconds. Williams' second stop, 13. So, there goes Rizzo, bye-bye. Here's Flock rejoining the race side by side with Aaron Cooper, yet to make a second stop. Always the risk in a big field like this. You pit a little bit early, you're gonna lose that track position. And you get tangled amongst others.
we've got Christopher Hen receiving a black flag, so they're really handing these out like they're going out of fashion. Seems to be Christopher Hen there around 18th position, so up 12 spots. Be pretty bummed out about that. Seems to be affecting a lot of our midfield there, pushing really hard there, and just getting that incident limit up, pushing outside those track limits.
Is Watson leading the race, and just before he catches any traffic, he'll come in and stop. Lachlan Capel goes one more, so does Joshua Fitt. So Watson very well might have reacted to the traffic. Here's Rizzo again. Very sharp and tidy pit stop. Where will he be relative to Watson rejoining? Still a bit back. So for Watson, a very tidy second stop. Much quicker than Williams or Flock.
Watson, yeah, you'd have to say almost 5 seconds up the road. Time to perfection there. He's definitely going to be wanting to watch as he's only about 22.5 seconds back from the leaders, so surely as we've looked over, people in the pit lane have been around that 35-second mark, so Watson is just absolutely poised to really walk away from this.
Surely Capel will be in this time for his final stop. It's followed by Josh Fitt, just behind. Ooh, the Beamer doesn't want to turn into the first apex, but it'll have to turn into pit lane. Deep follows him too. Here's Watson. Where will he be when those other drivers finish their stops? They're only just hitting their boxes, hitting their crews now. Capel, probably the biggest threat. 9 seconds of fuel. You can see he's just hitting the pit exit now. So Watson, have a little check of that.
You can just see that momentum as Watson.
You can tell what side of the screen his relative box is on. As he sees the other driver come out of pit lane and he gives it one or two little looks. Not where you put your focus through the S's though.
Oh, a little bit of a tuft of grass there in the air. Using all the track and then some there for Marcus Watson.
Everyone's made their second pit stop. Marcus Watson leads from Lachlan Capel. Rizzo in third, pursued by Cody Deeth. Flock back to fifth. That second stop is starting to look like a really long outlier from Kobe Williams. He's now back in seventh. All the AM drivers have made their stops as well. Brady Buchanan leads that one after the round of stops from Jai Potts and Sam Lehman. Here's Potato Squad Lamborghini. Tim Audi's a pro car, and then behind that is his main rival for this race, Jai Potts. Oh, and it's busy behind that. Sam Lehman in the red BMW. Andrew Dyson and Dylan O'Shea Pro Class BMWs. Tim Harris, the AM. Pro Class Porsches. Tim Harris, the AM BMW, just behind that. So, if you're layman, you don't want to let these guys through. They're your buffer. One of them's going to have a dig. Second one will also try to mug you. Tim Harris, can you come out opportunistic in this? He'll have a try. The BMW's battling for an AM podium here. Tim Harris brave if he's going to go around the outside of turn 1. Cut back in turn 2. Then, if you don't get an amazing run into this next apex, you're waiting throughout the whole S's. Tyson Broad, Jordan Peter. First flying lap after their second pit stops. It was this race that Broad cut most of the entirety of turn 3, right? He has had a pretty crazy race. It's Ross Rizzo not even showing a hint of defense as Cody Deeth sends up into a podium position. Well, there's maybe a handful of drivers who are quite worried about their track limits now.
Yeah, I think you'd have to say a lot of these drivers potentially withdrawing a lot from the bank and haven't been putting much of a deposit in, so dare say this is going to be something that is going to be a big issue for drivers, even with 5 minutes remaining.
Last glimmers of light in the sky, fading just as the race is about to end.
There we go. I'd have to say for Kobe Williams, definitely what could have been potentially a strategy like we've seen him just so many times. I think the fastest, about second or third fastest out on track for a best lap, or actually, sorry, I take that back. I think it has been between Marcus Watson and Cody Deeth though, with a 157.48 which has been going around this circuit. Really found some pace and got into that groove.
Two more laps and it's a 4-second lead for Marcus Watson. Cody Deeth still charging at Lachlan Capel. Kobe Williams being caught and relatively quickly by Broad and Peter. Did you see any noticeable mistakes for Williams on that lap? Because he dropped a second and a half.
Yeah, did lose about a second or so. So, gee, Kobe Williams, as we were talking about, maybe he just seems to have this insane talent on some of our tracks, but just not seem to be pulling through on this round. He's going to put his championship contention there into question just a little bit, but I'm sure he'll bounce back next week as well.
Oh, yeah, AM leader Brady Buchanan in the Lamborghini. Half spun and in a very precarious spot here through the Dunlop corner, losing positions, hand over fist. He can't put it into reverse gear. There's too many cars.
That's a BRS.
Goes to the lead of that class. Sam Lehman into second, Tim Harris into third. Wasn't under any immediate pressure, so just the tiny kiss of grass. Buchanan half goes around, doesn't hit the wall, but in such an awkward spot, losing big time. And then Jai Potts still holds the lead, but something's happened to him on this lap too. Start of the last lap for Marcus Watson. Pulling more time on the group behind, where Cody Deeth's gotten around Lachlan Capel. Deeth up into second.
Just so unlucky there for Brady Buchanan, just having such a good run. Gives and takes.
Williams a little closer to back on the pace, but still not as quick as Tyson Broad or Jordan Peter last lap. And now it is the last lap. Where can Broad fire? Where is the Audi potentially stronger? Spoon curve could be one. Mercedes doesn't seem to want to go as quick. Marcus Watson in the 77. Looking for the win, looking to sweep Suzuka in the Pro-Am Sim Series. It's relief more than elation there, but he does it. Back-to-back wins for Marcus Watson. Dave? I'm seeing a weird thing on my timing screen for Cody Deeth. I'm pretty sure he still crossed second. Jai Potts still leads the AM class. This is Tim Audi in the Ferrari versus Andrew Dyson versus Dylan O'Shea. Almost fanning out 3 wide as they take the finish. Got a photo finish worthy of Fernando Alonso there between Lehman and Yeaman. Did you see that Deeth finished the race in the pit lane? Obviously, the timing line is almost exactly where the start of the pit lane is. I don't think you actually lose much time at all, a la Donington, on the pit entry relative to where the timing line is. Dig into that one, because if he had a black flag, it'll drop him. He did, and it does drop him. Cody Deeth might have exceeded the track limits on the final lap. He gets dropped from second to 20th place. Marcus Watson holds on to the win. Lachlan Capel shoots up to second. Ross Rizzo to complete the podium. Sebastian Flock, Joshua Fitt, Kobe Williams, Jordan Peter, Tyson Broad, Harry Lawrence, and Brad Watson, the top 10. Cody Deeth got a drive-through penalty on the final lap. Too late to serve it. It gets added post-race and costs him 18 positions. oh boy. Late race intrigue then. Tim Audi in 11th, Andrew Dyson 12th, Dylan O'Shea 13th, Jai Potts, AM class winner, ahead of Sam Lehman and Timothy Harris with 3rd in that category. How's the photo finish, Lehman and Yeaman though? Mighty close, even if it wasn't really for any points. Had Aaron Cooper, Alex Court. And that's where Cody Deeth ends up in 20th. Really costly penalty. A drive-through, if you served it as a drive-through, would cost you about 20 seconds. Post-race, it costs you about 35. So it has been a really, really costly error as far as the points are concerned. Then Adam Jepson, Adam Funslow, Luke Fitt, Brady Buchanan could have been the AM class winner, and he also had a costly mistake late on in this race. Richard Brookfield, Gustavo Cirillo, Chu Kang, Jeffrey Wang, Tony Baker, Tom Wilkinson to 30th place. And the last cars, Christopher Hen and Derek Audi on the lead lap, Stephen Tonkin 2 laps down, Jackson Suzlin Harlow opting to retire that thing, and Matthew Johnson likewise. Been a while since I've seen anything like that, Nick, as far as Cody Deeth is concerned.
Yeah, talk about, that was such an amazing drive there, getting all the way up, I think around 15 positions or so, but has been pushed all the way back. Started 18th, was as high as 2nd place, and all the way back into 20th, so that was actually Cody Deeth's last lap there.
Wind it back, but slow-mo, because that's an interesting one. You see where the timing line is, where his competitors Capel and Rizzo are, and in the end it doesn't matter. So yeah, it obviously a lot of drivers close to those track limit warnings, and yeah, bizarrely for Deeth, just at the final lap. Okay, so in the bottom left-hand corner of screen, you start finish line. Deeth slows down for the pit lane. He's at pit lane speed limit when he crosses the line there. Capel, Rizzo 3rd. It's the old Michael Schumacher though. You can't serve the drive-through coming to the checkered flag. It's already too late at that point.
Yeah, so bit of a disappointment there for Cody Deeth. I'm sure he'll still be pretty pumped with his efforts here tonight.
Let's chat to some of our drivers. Ross Rizzo, what position did you think you were when you crossed the checkered flag there?
Yeah, we were just discussing with Lockie that perhaps Cody got a drive-through or some kind of black flag that didn't clear, that's dropped him down the field, but we all saw it. He just flew past us all and took what was a very impressive P2, but I'll gladly take P3 if he doesn't want it. So yeah, it was a pretty good night of racing all around, but a very, very strange.
You like that short fill at the first stop by the looks of things. Get a bit of track position. Is that important in a big field?
Absolutely, but I think I played it a little too aggressively. I only wanted to jump a handful of cars, but not the entire field, because I just wanted, that track position to try and clear the guys still towards the front of the field from the reverse grid and hopefully make genuine pace. But with the field bunched up the way it was through that whole second stint, I thought I was absolutely cooked. So quite amazed to end up where I did. But yeah, the short fill's always going to happen when I'm a little bit buried in the pack. Love the strategy.
96% power still gets you on the podium. How's that affect kind of how you've got to drive the car wheel to wheel?
Honestly, I'm just trying to understand how to drive the Porsche. It's a bit understeery for my liking and whatnot, but there's no denying the car's bloody quick. So whatever you do to it power-wise, it's still going to find a way to get back to the top But yeah, racecraft wise, basically, yep, the short field. Try and find some clear track because you're not going to make many passes on track against cars. I know Cody probably proved us wrong a few times, but that's what a 10K driver does who drives for Williams Esports. Putting that to shame, but we're not quite that fast. So yeah, typically the pits are the best way to go, but I'm just trying to understand how to drive the car.
Congrats. Look forward to see you next week.
Thanks very much, guys. Have a good.
Yeah, third place, Ross Rizzo there. Nick, Lachlan Capel ended up with second, and so he ends up with you.
Congratulations there, Lachlan Capel, on that second place. We were just having a bit of a discussion there on what had actually happened. I think you might have come around thinking you were going to come third.
Yeah, I definitely did come around thinking I was going to come third, and lo and behold, I checked the entries list with Ross, and Deeth had 17x, so he ended up getting a drive-through on the final lap, which is very unfortunate to say the least, because he had mega pace tonight, nothing that anyone I don't think could actually keep up with. He's doing laps in officials all week round, and yeah, no one could keep up with him. Beamer wasn't very strong. Porsche was there, but just, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, and much like himself, I'm guessing he would have spent a bit of time in officials just trying to chip away and get those laps in here at Suzuka in preparation.
I didn't do any laps in officials. I prefer to practice on the BOP itself, just to try and understand the car, because with the experience of this season, or this league in particular, is that the BOP and the power adjustments make big changes to the car in terms of braking zones, coasting zones, lift-off zones, fuel usage, as well as tyre usage, and when you can put the throttle down. So I jumped in a couple test sessions, maybe I put like maybe an hour or two into it. It's not too much because this is still a fun series, but a competitive series, and yeah, I tried my best with the Beamer. It doesn't seem by the results that the Beamer was very strong, because I was only the Beamer in the top 15, top 20, so unfortunate for that, but did the best with what I could do, and ended up walking away somehow with second place.
Nah, absolutely goes to show that doing your homework can definitely pay off, and that extra practice that you've put in is definitely showing just how strong you are. We didn't even really see too much of your rubbing panels. There was a lot of action behind and in front of you, but thankfully keeping a clean nose. So we are heading into Road America next week. I'm sure you'll have those same preparations again.
Yeah, I've done a couple laps at Road America already. I'm quite confident in Porsche on an actual setup, but this Beam is quite quick on the medium setup, so should be a little bit of an edge, especially with the power. But Road America's a good track, but we'll just have to see how it goes. I mean, I'll put some laps in, but it's really dependent on power, so the Ferraris and the Lambos will definitely be up there, up the front again for next week.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations again on that second place. It was, yeah, definitely a bit of last minute drama, but glad to see you up there. Any sponsors and people you'd like to thank?
Yeah, just like to thank Drop In Motorsport and all their sponsors of Incosi Engineering Solutions, Sam Blacklock Media, Hybrid Racing Solutions, and Revolution Race Gear. Also like to thank everyone who put on the stream, and SimSpeed as a whole in general, for being able to do this series, and the series itself is one of the biggest and fastest growing GT3 series out there for iRacing, especially in the Australian community. And yeah, that's about it.
Congratulations again there. I think we're also exhausted here at 10 PM tonight. I'll take it back to David Haynes.
Right, well, we've got one more driver standing by, and it's none other than the clean sweeper of Suzuka, tidying up out there, Marcus Watson.
Yeah, it was fun, yeah.
You'd imagine so, with that reverse grid. There was plenty of carnage for both races to keep you on your toes as well. We had some big pile-ups in race 1, and race 2 started pretty hectic as well.
Yeah, well, with race 2, really, I just tend to try not get caught up in any dramas on the start, and then trip my way through. And I just tucked in behind my uncle, and people were just flying off everywhere. And I saw the two drop bear cars collect each other at the start, and that was a tasty couple freebies. So I was enjoying it, to be fair, just sitting behind fuel save and watching all the people up the front in the championship ping off. It was actually quite enjoyable.
Audi looked a little twitchy, a little handful for some at times. That cause any pressure for you with the track limits?
In the first race, I mean, I didn't really focus on track limits much in the second race. The first race, my main goal was just to get that 0x so I could get the extra championship points, which I did. And it was nice to have the win too, and I was quite comfortable throughout the both races that I could have really good pace and not fly off the track every corner. And in the second race, I was just trying to make positions. I knew I was going to use off track, so I wasn't going to focus on it too much. I just focused on getting to the front. That was my main goal.
Worked out very well for you. It's got a little messy behind you in the final stints there, but you were clean sailing of it all.
Yeah, well, I started the first race, and my main focus was just keeping it on 80Ks because it's quite downhill, and I was like a K over and I was a K under, and I just wanted to be right on that 80K so I didn't get a penalty for something very silly. And then I see the green, I take off and I look in my mirror to see what everyone else is doing, and I see just a lot of smoke and cars flying everywhere. I was quite surprised, to be honest. I didn't expect people to come together down the straight, but it is what it is. It's racing, isn't it?
That's where the pole position comes in very handy. We've seen, 35 cars on a track trying to qualify. Things can get complicated there as well. What was your strategy all the way back there that looks to have set you up for this run through?
Well, I've done a few officials this week, and at most tracks, those corners where you can fly off at the exit and it's really strict with the off tracks, I tend to take it really easy. Even in qualifying, my qualifying pace never is excellent. My race pace is always a lot better. And I saw that I was right there. I was like 0.07 off pole. So I was like, screw it. What's the worst that could happen? I'm still up the front, and I just absolutely pushed for that final lap in qualifying. And it obviously worked out very well.
Yeah. No doubt. Trying to find these championship standings. You were 4th coming into this round, 140 points shy of that lead. You keep chipping back away at it, and sets a very, very interesting stage for next week at Road America. How's the Audi going to go there?
I mean, I feel I'll do good in the Audi anywhere. Me and the rest of the PCD team will do well in the Audi anywhere. It doesn't really matter on the track. We just drive the car, drive the track, and do the same as we do every other week. But Road America is a draft fest. Everyone's going to be in a train, everyone's going to be battling. I feel like it's going to be quite hard to pull away, as I've seen in the past, but maybe someone can prove me wrong, or maybe I can prove myself wrong. But it'll be very interesting, but I'm quite confident that the Audi should go well there.
Congrats on the Suzuka double. We look forward to seeing you then.
Thank you very much.
Well, Nick, that's almost everything from Suzuka, but how about that? Not a bad track next week either for this style of GT racing.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see these big Aero GT3 cars against Road America, as we've seen, is just as what Marcus was saying just before. Big on the drafting, quite a wide track, big open corners. So yeah, we'll see some awesome battles, I'm sure of it.
Real Circuits just finished the repave. So interesting to see how that goes for them. Interesting to see how the simrigs.com Oz Pro-Am Sim Series will do at Road America in 1 week's time. You'll catch it all here on SimSpeed TV, of course, once again. Myself, David Haynes, Nick Skariev, and Jay Kennedy with the replays, with the slow-mo drift replays. We look forward to seeing you then.
do you like it?
I love it, yeah.
Now when you go pre-owned, you can enjoy the same feeling you get with a new Toyota. Tested and backed by Toyota.
Upgrade your car, mate. This? Yeah, no big deal.
Toyota certified. Pre-owned in a class of its own. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.